All right, Texas Motor Speedway, here are our top 15 drivers respectively because Ron Eworth is on the grid working on his vehicle. Starting closest to the sweeping turn, let's introduce you to our drivers. In the Road Race Engineering, Burke Technologies, Turbo by Garrett, 350Z, it's Carl Requist. Coming to us from Los Angeles, California, in the CX Racing Hankook Tires LS14, he is Jeff Jones. From right here in Texas, Rowlett, Texas to be exact, in the Njuku Racing NK Wheels, WhatMonstersDo.com S13.4, Little Tex, Nate Hamilton. Coming to us from the East Coast, Virginia to be exact, in the LS RX8, running sticky on the door, he is Dan Savage. Rounding out that two-car team, flying the East Coast flag, Maryland to be specific, in the Sicky LS Power 350Z, he is James Evans. Running on down the line from Atlanta, now Los Angeles, in the ARC Performance Kenda Tires Hyundai Genesis Coupe, he is Dennis Merzanis. Another Texan driver, he is non-stop tuning, he is all metal, he is Will Parsons. Coming to us from the Sunshine State, Florida, in that all-rotary FCRX7, he is J-Lo, Jeremy Lowe. A stone-cold killer, he is coming to us from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the Achilles Radial LS14, he is Jeff Stone Cold Stoneback. In the LS S13, big ol' Eric Hill. Coming to us from Southern California in that OD green, he is Tony Cisneros. Our #1 qualifier in the Maxxis Tire Kaufman Racing LS13 from Southern Oregon, he is Matt Kaufman. Next to him, coming from Southern California, it's us versus them in the RB-powered Borg Warner Turbo S14. He is Ryan Literal. Coming all the way from Finland in the Achilles Radial S14, his name is Juha Rintanen. Rounding out our 15, again, Ron Eworth is in the grid getting prepared for battle. From Layton, Utah, in the DriftMotion.com 2JZ S13, he is Brendan Wicknick. Those are your 15 drivers, respectively. 16 are about to do battle. Gentlemen, let's send it here for Texas Motor Speedway as a little drizzle starts to hit us now. Just a bit of spitty rain. So as these gentlemen just had some practice, the conditions are ever changing. So unfortunately for them, they're going to be getting some wet head-to-head battles as we're about to see them go head-to-head. Ryan Sage will be joining me here in the announcer's booth to really break down what's going to unfold here as we're seeing head-to-head battles for the first time this weekend. We saw qualifying from these guys yesterday. We just saw qualifying from Pro. Now we're about to see head-to-head battle Pro 2. And again, tomorrow we're going live at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time for Formula Drift Pro action, the 6th round of 7 of the Formula Drift Championship.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
All right, well, welcome back as the wind keeps kicking up here, and obviously the sun has set, but the drizzling is back. Unfortunately, you know, right when we're about to go head-to-head. This is, Ryan, to be exact, you know, this is round 6 of the Pro Championship, but this is what number exactly of Pro 2?
Round 3.
This is round 3 of the Pro 2 Championship, and we will be seeing a final round 4 at Irwindale, California, which basically you need to do all the prior rounds, or at least one, is it correct?
Yeah, you need to make all 3 to be able to go into Irwindale.
All right, so let's talk about the format and the setting. We saw qualifying yesterday. Now we're going into head-to-head. Ron Eworth working on his car up until the last minute, head-to-head battles.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the essence of drifting. These guys are basically going to be competing head-to-head. This is what we'll see in the pro class tomorrow, and some of these guys actually are doing double duty in the pro class. But tonight, one guy will get one step closer to taking home the first ever Pro 2 championship. Now, the conditions are tough. I mean, I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I got the hood on up here. I mean, this is probably the coldest event we've seen all year, and you can see if you look in the lights right here, and if we pan to it during the first run, you can see rain coming through right here, and this has just started to come down right now, and it's definitely going to make for some treacherous conditions. There's a lot of rubber down on the track from the previous day's activities, and I can imagine it's going to be very slippery out there, so you will have to take all these things into consideration. So will the drivers, and you know, obviously, you know, it never lacks excitement. The Pro 2 guys have been on it all year.
Yeah, and so we talk about the format, the setting. I mean, it's just, you know, it's these guys just saw wet conditions in practice literally moments ago, and right as we're about to introduce top 16, this drizzle, this spitty rain. And even when it was dry earlier, the pro guys in qualifying on their first run was definitely saying it was still slick. So not completely dry condition, and now it's even got a shellac of rain on it more. Let's talk about zeros, what the judges, you know, as far as head-to-head, what's definitively knocking somebody out? Yeah,
let's take a look at the zeros card up here. I mean, really, in tandem these days, it's really simple to kind of understand what we're looking for in terms of the zero categories. Last year it was very nuanced. You could pick apart the run and give a guy a 0. This year we're just trying to break it down and be as simple as possible. So things like spinning out, obviously, be a 0. 2 tires off at any part in time where we can see it on a replay clearly, it'd be a 0. Straightening or losing drift, if your hood latch or doors open during any time in the run, that is also a 0. Contact that is considered avoidable. Now, this is up to the judge's discretion, where there may be contact between 2 drivers, and the judges have to assert fault. Potentially a 0 could be awarded for contact that was considered avoidable. Typically, that would be for overly aggressive driving. And then I kind of like this one, you know, and we've seen this a couple times this year, what we call an inactive chase. This would be where a driver zeroes out on one run, and then his competitor sandbags the next run so that he can get the easy win. If that is deemed to be the case, judges can actually call it back and give that guy a 0, so we would see it one more time in that case. But other than that, this is the only way that you can get 0s here in tandem.
All right, well, we talked about, you know, the 0s, but let's talk about the heroes. These are the drivers that are killing it up until this point, most notably Jeff Stoneback, he's a killer, and Dan Savage. Let's take a look at some of these guys' runs. I mean, overall, their point standings coming into this round of Pro 2.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, Stoneback came out very strong in Miami, and basically showed not only is he a top-notch Pro 2 driver, he's definitely competitive in the pro class as well. Now, obviously, the round after that, he didn't fare as well, but we saw a guy that has a huge amount of potential and talent, and coming home with the win there, I think, was a great first step for him. Now, the interesting thing about this championship chase is that because it's only 4 rounds, you know, if you are within 100 or so points by this round right now, you still have a fighting chance for the championship. And as we take a look at Nate Hamilton here, he's sitting in that number 9 spot right now. Excuse me, that number 10 spot, and he is less than 100 points behind. So these next 2 rounds are going to be so important for accumulating points. If a driver goes out in the top 16, you know, and his competitor that's 4 or 5 positions down, he can really make up some ground here. So these next 2 rounds are absolutely important. And as we look at Savage right here, coming on very strong in Seattle, taking home that win, and basically showing, look, I'm a dog in the fight, and I'm here to be a contender.
Yeah, Savage, you know, I've seen him compete in the Pro-Am sanctioning bodies and different events across the globe, and, you know, seem to, you know, the RX-8, not an easy chassis to set up. Let's throw an LS at it. You know, not an easy, you know, vehicle to set up as far as weight distribution. So, you know, Savage has really done well with that Sicky vehicle. You know, him and his teammate James Evans, they win against each other, and Seattle is a menacing track. So, as you said, Savage, there's, you know, he's a dog in the fight. So, looking forward to some big things from him, you know, and as you said, everybody's in the running right now, just given how close, you know, and how minimal events there are overall. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I mean, why not get on with the head-to-head battles? Should be interesting. You know, we have the wet conditions, we have the fans, they're sticking out here. But tomorrow, again, the forecast should be awesome. But you're live with us, round 6 of 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, but this being the 3rd round of the Pro 2 Championship here at Texas Motor Speedway. So in just moments, we'll see our first head-to-head battle. It's going to be our Mr. Matt Kaufman versus Ryan Lital when we come back.
Let's be honest, the girls are there, they're holding the umbrellas, but can they hold the gear shift? Can they drive the vehicles? Can Taka Ayano teach these girls well enough, or do the girls have enough talent to actually drift themselves? We'll find out.
When I was little, I wanted to grow up and help people.
When I was young, I wanted to save lives.
I wanted to make a difference in the world.
When I was growing up, I wanted to serve my country.
My name is Captain Shawnce Tarrant, Air Force physician.
I'm Airman First Class Ashley Denton, Air Force firefighter.
I am Lieutenant Colonel Gail Crawford, Air Force JAG.
I'm Captain Cynthia Nogueras, and I'm an American Airman.
I know when I toss my car into a turn at over 100 miles per hour, it's going to hold it. If you don't have confidence in your tires, you have nothing.
All right, well, here we go. We have our first pair set to do battle. Our number 1 qualifier, Matt Kaufman, going against Ryan Lital from Southern California. So an all West Coast battle here. Kaufman, that Roush Fenway. High horsepower vehicle versus the RB Borg Warner turbo vehicle of Ryan Lital.
It's going to get interesting here.
This should get very interesting. I'm really nervous about, you know, they just came off the course and they did not have any wet conditions, and here we are now. So here we go. Our first battle officially here at Texas Motor Speedway of the 3rd round of the Formula Drift Pro 2 Championship. Nice job by Kaufman so far, not seeming to affect Kaufman. Oh, and just as I say that, wow, look at Kaufman hanging out. Nice job by Kaufman. I mean, he's used to driving in the wet. He is from the Northwest. Not a bad job there. Literal, you know, not a bad job either. He was back there quite a bit, but if you watched his run independently, not too shabby.
Yeah, really impressed by both drivers right here on that first run out. You know, definitely a little bit less slick than you would have thought when the guys were burning out. There was no real smoke coming down, but you can see Kaufman right here, very confident in his car setup, his ability, takes that corner pretty fast right here. Good transition back. He's not on the zones, but again, with the ring coming down, you definitely have to be impressed. Lital is there, but just a little bit behind, slightly tentative. We'll see what he can do right now as he goes out and takes the lead position.
All right, so should be interesting here for these guys. You know, they haven't gone against each other. Fortunately, you know, they did have practice. We'll see if they use that to their advantage and go against each other there in practice. But 2 different setups, both S chassis, but engine setup coming into play here. You know, you have that naturally aspirated high torquey engine, but you have the high horsepower of that RB turbo of Lital. Now, Ryan Lital will be out front. That us versus them, Borg Warner, S14, and Kaufman, the Kaufman Racing Maxxis tires, S13. All right, so taking a look at Formula Drift Pro 2, here we go. Again, our first battle. Ryan Lital initiating. Oh, wow, exploding his front bumper on that front flip. Continues through the paces. That Lital very big correction, straightening it out. I think it's I mean, Kaufman's pretty much at this point just going through the paces. Kudos to him. He pretty much didn't have to really reinitiate his drift, but man, good showing there by Kaufman. Right from the bat, though, Lital just exploded his bumper.
Yeah, again, can't say enough great things about Kaufman. I mean, last night in the driver's meeting, you can see right there as Lital takes out that front clip. That's pretty much all she wrote. As you can see right here, he straightens out. He may have had some damage to the vehicle sustained because of that, but Kaufman gets back on it. You know, in the driver's meeting last night, it was mentioned that, you know, Kaufman had about 14 points higher than any other driver, and they said it was because of the commitment in certain areas of the course that just other drivers were not willing or able to do. And so, you know, he's on a good start right here. He'll make it into the grade 8.
All right, so here we go, going to the winners. Matt Kaufman gets the win. So Matt Kaufman advances. Kaufman advances to the grade 8. So if you can't tell by the conditions, it is a cold, windy and blustery one here at Texas Motor Speedway. I mean, we were expecting rain in Seattle and Monroe, but didn't get it. But now here we are in Texas, where we expected the heat, and it's a cold one out here. All right, advancing on to our next battle. This should be an all-Texas battle. Will Parsons versus Nate Hamilton. Nate Hamilton qualifying 8th as opposed to Will Parsons 9th, so right there, just one spot away from each other. As Nate Hamilton did grab a podium earlier this year at the first round in Miami. He's gone against Haley, Savage, Requist, and Stoneback, all of which he's beat except Stoneback. So here he goes against, for the first time ever, against Will Parsons. We have seen these guys, if I can recall, do battle in another sanctioning body, but we'll see how they shape up here. As Hamilton seems to be pulling away from Will Parsons. Good angle from Hamilton, coming to that clipping zone. Trying to navigate into that final front clip as Will Parsons seems to be catching up with them, taking a similar line. Not too shabby from Will Parsons in that chase position. So both these guys, again, here from Texas.
Let's take a look at this Lital replay real quick, Jared. As you can see right here on initiation, Nate Hamilton comes into it, kind of smoothly right here, shoots out towards the second outer zone, doesn't get all the way out there, but all meanwhile he's kind of pulling a gap right here on Will Parsons. Tucks up on the inside right here, goes a little bit wide on that second inside clip right here to reach out to that second outer zone. So Nate Hamilton, while pulling a gap, is making a few mistakes in the lead position, and now Will Parsons will have an opportunity to go out and put down a lead run of his own.
So unfortunately for unfortunately for Nate Hamilton, didn't make top 32 in pro. Will Parsons grabbed that 32nd spot. We're going to see him in competition tomorrow, but he's going against a fierce driver that is Forrest Wang right out of the gate tomorrow. I mean, our #1 qualifier. So it should be interesting tomorrow for Will Parsons, but good practice for him going against Nate Hamilton. But we'll see Will Parsons tomorrow. Unfortunately, not seeing Nate Hamilton. So here we go. Nate Hamilton will be out front. He's got his ham fan cheering him on. Where are my Nate Hamilton fans at? Where are my Will Parsons fans at? All right, here we go. We're about to find out. Some of y'all are going to be more bummed than the others, but as Will Parsons pulling away from Hamilton, look at that, filling that rear clipping zone as Hamilton playing catch-up here. Look at the degree of angle as Hamilton squeezes wide, a bit more angle, but he needs to follow down that of Parsons. Man, some aggressive driving there from Will Parsons out front, Ryan.
Yeah, so a bit of a back and forth battle here with both drivers making a couple of line mistakes here. As you can see, Will Parsons comes up. Nice job on that first inside clip. Really trying to shoot out as wide as you can right here to that second. And he actually does a pretty good job of it. Also filled the outer zone right here in front of the judges stand. He's also wide on this second inside clip, which a lot of guys are doing that are carrying momentum, but gotta give it up for him on that first and second outer zone right there. He's able to get pretty close to that. See how the judges take that into account, plus the run prior with Nate Hamilton in the lead.
All right, Brian, we'll kind of find out here as the judges scrutinizing the runs, finding out what transpired here. Again, Little Tex, Nate Hamilton. Will Parsons, the first time seeing battle here in Formula Drift competition. Going to the judges, Parsons or Hamilton. Andy, Brian, and Ryan say, one more time from Andy. Brian says Will Parsons, and Ryan says one more time. So they're going at it again, a one more time battle. A one more time battle between these gentlemen. I really like the aggressive, you know, feeling that rear clipping zone. I liked how Nate closed that proximity to Will Parsons. I think if he would have chased him a little closer in the latter portion of this track and didn't overshoot it, might have got the win, but Will Parsons going for it on his second run, or where he led on that run in particular. All right, so we'll revisit the Parsons-Hamilton battle as we have our next battle, Savage versus Lowe. This should be a good one. Savage, you know, in contention for this Pro 2 championship, going against a killer that is Jeremy Lowe. Throughout the years, you know, he almost grabbed that podium spot. I believe it was the last round in Seattle. So let's see how these guys do. Here we go, Savage out front, the LS RX-8 against J-Lo. J-Lo, that rotary, the RX-8 should have the rotary. J-Lo obviously got the rotary underneath the hood of his FC, tapping the brakes, getting that proximity. Nice job by these guys as Savage pulls away.
Well, Jared, I'm really liking that we're seeing that the wind has stayed on, but the rain has seemed to go off, and it's allowed these guys to really carry some speed right here. You can see on initiation right there, nice job by Savage. Both drivers trying to shoot as high as they can, just a little bit short of that first outer zone. Savage makes contact right there. Lowe stays back. He's on the attack right here as he comes up on the inside. Both drivers hit that inside clip. Lowe goes wide here to that outer zone. Does not follow Savage to that last part before the finish line. So good proximity right there by Lowe towards the middle to the end part of the course. Savage making a couple of mistakes up front, so now we'll have an opportunity for Jeremy Lowe to take that lead position, see if he can't get an advantage and take this win home, or if it will maybe be Dan Savage continue on his leading championship.
Yeah, and Savage is really using the whole course. I mean, he showed up this weekend with, you know, the wing canards on both sides, but multiple times he's hit that outside clipping zone. That's why they're not out there. But Jeremy Lowe, he, you know, with that rotary, you know, I met his dad last year in Florida, and he has a strong rotary background. So, you know, with everybody making these swaps, you know, to LSs or 2Js or RBs, he stuck true to that rotary, to the Wankel under the hood of that FCRX-7. So it's great to see, you know, an RX-7 competitive. You know, Kyle Mohan, Wolfson, a kind of a dying breed here, the way of the Dodo Bird. Here we go. So J-Lo out front, Jeremy Lowe, but look at Savage. Savage living up to his name. Nice job there. As J-Lo steps it out again. Savage, a correction. Going to that final clip, makes some noise, Texas. Nice showing by these guys. Man.
Definitely want to see that on the replay again. That was a great run by both competitors. Very aggressive there. You can see both guys having a lot of confidence in this course. Good flick right here by Jeremy Lowe. Savage initiates a little bit late. He kind of rolls into it. Good angle there by Jeremy as he comes in, trying to get right into that second outer zone. You can see Savage kind of dives in. He pulls off the second outer zone. Lowe's a little bit wide on that inside clip. So is Savage. And then both drivers cross the finish line. So both drivers in both runs making some mistakes. Really, the judges are going to have to take a look at both of them in the context of the lead and the chase run and figure out if we have an advantage for either driver.
Yeah, I mean, I love how both these guys are driving, and liked how aggressive Savage was. He was right there, but as you said, he made that mistake there in the latter part of the course. So waiting for the judge's verdict. Tapping it into the tablets. But do we see J-Lo or Dan Savage, who's in contention for that Pro 2 championship? Here we go, going to the judges. Jeremy Lowe, says Andy Yen. One more time from Brian, and Ryan Lontaine says Jeremy Lowe. Jeremy Lowe gets the win. So congratulations, Jeremy Lowe advances. Unfortunately, the Siki LS RX-8 gets knocked out, and Dan Savage has to retire for the weekend. As Dan Savage didn't make top 32 in Pro as well.
It's kind of what we were talking about on the lead up in the introduction, Jared,
Yeah,
with the championship chase, guys going out early and really allowing that point structure to change dramatically because of the very small number of rounds. So opening it up right here in the championship as Savage goes out early.
All right, so yeah, so Stoneback, just inching closer, and as you talked about, Hamilton, he has to go one more time as we're going back to them, Hamilton and Parsons. So Hamilton out front, Parsons giving chase. Hamilton, the LS powered S13.4. Going to the first rear clipping zone. Doesn't get all the way out there as now they transition. Oh! And Hamilton, so here's interesting. We definitely need to take a look at this. Was Hamilton coming to a halt? I mean, it looked like he wasn't going to make that front clip against Will Parsons. I'm sure the judges are going to be analyzing this run here.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, take a look at it again.
I got to compliment Will Parsons here. He definitely gets on it a lot sooner. Remember in the first run, he gave Nate quite a gap. Here he doesn't. Nice flick back and forth, mirroring each other right here. What the judges are going to be looking for is, was Nate Hamilton going to be going over into the spinning area? Obviously, you can see Parsons is kind of, he's ramping up to him, but it does look like Hamilton was holding really large angle right there. Maybe too much to make that particular part of the course. And let's see it in regular motion here one more time. Again, Parsons very aggressive in the chase position, following Hamilton wherever he goes. Here's the transition back around. He's definitely full lock, and it looks like he slows up quite a bit right there. And I have to imagine the judges might think that he was going to actually spin, but we'll have to find out we won't be told by the judges whether or not that was the case, but because there was contact, we may find out whether or not there was fault given to either driver. So.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this again, Ryan. Here comes Hamilton into that rear clipping zone. It has to be definitive for the oh man. With it being so slick and wet, you've seen some drivers hanging out there and really hold on to that angle, getting all the way out there. Let's see where Nate touch and go. I mean, that's not the best angle because he's counter steered. Really comes down to the other angle, and
it's really going to come down. I think could he have made that? Could he have got back on the throttle at that level of angle? Was he slowing down too much, and is that what caused the contact? Or was he able to hold that angle? Had he been holding that angle in qualifying, and did Parsons was just ramping up too fast to hit him? To me, it seems like Nate was just a little bit too much angle there and slowing down a lot. Obviously there's responsibilities for the lead and the chase driver, but let's take a look at this one more time. It's this is one of those ones on that fine line, but if I had to go in any direction, it seems like Nate was holding a lot of angle right there and really slowing down.
So scrubbing some speed even in the wet is Hamilton, but again, has to be definitive. I mean, similar to that of traditional ball sports, they now have instant replay in baseball. All right, so an update on the action. So Hamilton and Parsons obviously suffered, the hit. So what's going on right now is Hamilton and Parsons are both fixing their vehicle. We'll advance on to our next battle, but unfortunately for Ron Eworth, he's to go against James Evans, but Eworth's car, he's currently working on his car, so he's calling a competition timeout. He has 5 minutes to get his vehicle in running order, otherwise he'll forfeit that run, and James Evans will automatically advance to the grade 8. So, that being the case, let's bounce around to the other side of the top 16, which is Eric Hill and Tony Cisneros. Two S-chassis vehicles. Two very aggressive drivers. We've seen these gentlemen go at it before. So we have Cisneros and Hill. All right. So again, if you're just tuning in, we are in Pro 2 competition in the NK Wheels Top 16. right, so. All right, so judges scrutinizing still the Hamilton-Parsons run. We'll get back to that as those gentlemen are working on their vehicles, and we'll see the second half of that battle. So here we go. Eric Hill, Tony Cisneros. Eric Hill will be out front, our number 2 qualifier, going against Tony Cisneros. This is that OD Green S14. Big Eric Hill. Nice job right now. Straightforward approach by both these guys. Like to see Tony closer in proximity, but keeping it consistent, almost mirroring each other's line. Not too bad of a job, not too aggressive from Cisneros in that chase position.
Yeah, not a lot to nitpick here, Jared, as we go take a look at the Nitto replay coming back around. Good little flick right here into that first inside clip right there by Hill. You can see the gap right here is probably the most prominent thing to talk about as Hill comes around. He's off that outside zone right there, but Cisneros following him as closely as he can, trying to use him as a moving clipping point. Still falling back a little bit right here. So both drivers, a couple high points there and some low points for both drivers. We'll see if Cisneros can now make that up in the lead position and try to establish a clear advantage over Hill.
All right, let's alternate the order. Cisneros will be out front. Ready to send car. Cisneros will be out front. Eric Hill giving chase. All the red lights illuminating. You can see in between the drivers. Once they deactivate, they can leave the line. The chicane is put into effect, which we introduced at our last round of Formula Drift. Eric Hill lacking the angle, exploding that front flip. Now Cisneros. Oh, Eric Hill surging in attack. Look at Eric Hill, aggressive right now. Seems like he compromised a bit of angle, didn't get to that outside clip, but definitely want to take a look at that again, Ryan, as you know, Cisneros out front, he seemed to get this outside clip, and as you said, utilize the lead car as a moving clipping point.
Yeah, no doubt it's impressive when the chase driver gets really close to the lead driver and really maintains that proximity, but at what cost sometimes right here. As you can see, Cisneros out front, Hill in the chase position. This is where the surge happens right here. You can see out front, Cisneros is way off that outer zone, off that second outer zone as well. Hill right here makes the mistake when he chases in that position right there, and then both drivers come around to that last outer zone. So a lot of mistakes right here in the first part of the course, especially on this first and second outer zone by Cisneros in the lead position, but Hill making that attack and a big mistake kind of straightening up right here before that last inside clip. So we'll have to see how the judges take that into account and figure out if we've got ourselves a clear winner.
Again, if you're watching at home, be sure to tell all your friends you're watching Pro 2. Hashtag FDTX. Sharing on your favorite drivers. Sarasota, Florida's own J-Lo is in the mix. Andy, Brian, and Ryan going to the judges. So Andy says Tony Cisneros, and Tony Cisneros gets the win. So I assume it comes down to that mistake there in that chase position. Shut it down. So, Ryan. All right, so Cisneros advances on. Now, Ryan, if we can revisit the Parsons-Hamilton battle, what unfolded and transpired there?
Yeah, so basically there was contact, and when there's contact, the judges have to assert who was at fault. It's based on a majority rule. So two judges, Andy N. and Brian Eggert, gave fault to Will Parsons, and Ryan Lantain gave fault to Nate Hamilton. So the majority is against Will Parsons. Both Andy N. and Brian Eggert felt that it was able to be driven out of, and that they saw that there was some wheel movement by Nate Hamilton, and that he had an opportunity to still save that, even though there was some slowing down there. So that's why they ruled in favor of Hamilton and against Parsons.
So, and also we're getting an update here that Will Parsons is unable to run. So that means that Nate Hamilton actually advances. We're getting word that that Will Parsons has retired. So look at this. So cars are dropping like flies as the wind continues. And speaking of fly, Will Parsons knocked out. So Nate Hamilton advances on to the grade 8s. So Kaufman and Hamilton are going against each other. Unfortunately, because of Will Parsons getting that damage to his car, can't advance. So Kaufman will go against Hamilton. And now get this, Jeremy Lowe is going against James Evans because Ron Eworth is unfortunately not able to run. So James Evans advances. As we move on to our next battle, Juha Rintanen is going against Brandon Wicknick. So the Finnish driver ripping through the course right now. Interestingly enough, Juha's car actually transported by Wicknick. Both these guys run into JZ.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about Juha was the incredible amount of speed that he was carrying through practice. Nice little flick right here. You can see Wicknick trying to toe up the rear end here, surging, and the backside. A little bit of sparks coming off right there as both drivers just a little bit short as Juha takes the lead with respect to that first and second outer zone. Coming a little bit right here on that last inside clip, and Wicknick towing up the lead right there, or excuse me, the chase. So we'll have to see what Wicknick can do now in the lead position. Juha definitely fast, is able to maintain close proximity. We'll see if Wicknick can't do a better job of hitting those outer zones right here in front of the grandstands, which seems like a lot of drivers are having trouble with. You really have to carry a lot of momentum and speed to be able to get out there and really be comfortable with the angle and the transition, so it sets you up for that last inside clip.
All right, so Juha, talking to some of the other drivers, and Juha, a very aggressive driver. All right, so we are currently going to see the second half of this battle, Juha Rintanen versus Brandon Wicknick. So Wicknick will now be out front as Juha, number 7 qualifier, Wicknick qualified 10th. There we go. Nice initiation by Wicknick. Let's see how Juha transitions. Good angle from these guys. Wicknick throwing it down as Juha dives in on the inside, like the aggressive nature of Juha, and with Wicknick going to the outside, Juha takes that inside pass. Seems like Wicknick got a little spooked there, man, as Juha just lunged forward, catapulting almost into the door of that S13 of Wicknick.
I can see the judges immediately looking at the replay monitor over here. This one's very interesting. You see Wicknick comes in with a nice flick on that first inside clip, transitions back around. Now look at Juha right here, dives in as Wicknick tries to hit that outer zone. It looks like there was some contact there. You can see some pieces fall off, and then Wicknick shoots to the outside. Juha sees the opening there and takes him on the inside. So we'll have to see if that's considered a valid pass. That is one of the places that you can pass on the course that with drivers that actually push a little bit too wide. But we'll have to see if that was actually as a result of making contact and kind of diving in and maybe possibly pushing Wicknick into that position. See the judges asking for a secondary replay. This one definitely is going to get scrutinized for sure as we go back to the middle replay here, Jared, and take a look at this one more time. You can see all is pretty well up to this point, and then right here, as Wicknick transitions, Juha dives in right here on that second outer clip, and you can see there was contact right before that. We can actually see pieces of material from the vehicles fly off right in front of us. Now, this is the overhead. You can see Wicknick tries to go to that outer zone. This is the second outer zone. He's trying to fill it. Juha dives in right there. That's where the contact is made. Yeah. Now Wicknick goes wide, and Juha makes the pass on the inside.
Yeah, so what comes into play here? Did Juha, push him to the outside? I mean, in that chase position, you need to let that lead car navigate the course properly. So with that contact, that could have pushed Wicknick to the outside and, nudge that back left corner. So Ryan, let's take a look at the judges, and I believe, we are finding out that Juha is at fault for the contact. So that means Brandon Wicknick gets the win. So unfortunately for Juha, his aggressiveness just ended up biting him in the end. So Wicknick advances on.
Yeah, visually, I love that. I think if he didn't make contact here and Wicknick actually was going to the outside, it would have been a great opportunity. But because there was contact, it's really hard for the judges not to give fault to Juha in that particular circumstance.
Yeah, so Juha being knocked out. Great to see a variety of international drivers, but unfortunately for him, takes himself out with taking Brandon Wicknick's back left corner out. All right, so going, so Wicknick advances on, and I don't know if you heard me, but James Evans will advance on. James Evans in the Siki 350Z. He advances on because unfortunately Ron Eworth and his buddy club Vision Performance FRS is unable to get back to running order. So that means James Evans advances on to the Great 8.
Well, things are certainly happening fast here, Jared.
Yeah.
And you know, the interesting thing with drivers, we've been noticed with the actual run of time of competition, is being able to use that appropriate turn lane by moving the start line forward has really accelerated competition too. We've kind of minimized a lot of the downtime here, which is great because last year it was really painful to have the drivers go all the way through.
Right.
But now with these guys braking, they're really accelerating through this top 16 pretty quickly.
All right, so here it is. This is a bye run for James Evans. So that is a bye run. All right, so here we go. Moving on to our next battle. Jeff Jones and Carl Requist should be on the line. Telling by the headlights, that's who it is. Here we go. Jeff Jones will be leading. Number 3 qualifier going against Carl Requist on Motor Race Engineering 350Z as Jeff Jones. Yeah, Jones with great angle. Whoa, a little slow transition. Hanging it out there as Requist goes off course, or goes offline, I should say. Almost going off course. So Jones, Ryan, a real interesting transition there. I mean, Requist was on him, but in the transition from the first to the second rear clipping zone, it seemed that he really almost threw a roadblock out there and let it hang out there a bit too long, potentially throwing off Requist.
Well, we've seen this transition come into play quite a few times right here. As you can see, Jones, snappy initiation into that first inside clip. Right here, going wide. Great job right there. He hesitates for a second as Requist dives in. Requist gets on the brakes and straightens out right there. So it definitely was a mistake by Jeff in the transition from outer zone 1 to outer zone 2. Was pretty minimal, but it was enough, obviously, to have an effect on the chase driver. Now we'll have to see if actually the judges think it was enough to cause Carl to stop drifting altogether and get out of the competition. But nonetheless, it was a minor mistake.
So let's alternate the order here as Requist will be out front, sitting on that deficit. Not official, but unofficial, as the judges will not state. If there is an advantage or disadvantage, but you have to assume. As now Jeff Jones, would this be considered an inactive chase at this point? Or is he playing some strategy here as far as giving himself some room? Jeff Jones. As now Jeff Jones finishes across the finish line. Ryan, is that enough for an inactive chase, aka sandbag? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think this run is really going to come down to that first one and how the judges interpret that transition. You know, was the mistake that Jones made enough to say that Carl straightening behind him was the reason for that? That was the causal action that actually made that happen. But you can see right here, yes, definitely Jones is way behind. His Requist pretty much going through the course without a chase driver. I don't think it's an inactive chase, but it's definitely running up against the line there.
All right, so waiting for the verdict, and as you said, you know, with Jones out front, I don't think that was enough. I mean, it was good chase, but you know, you needed to compensate for that big hanging out there of Jeff Jones. Let's see who gets the win and advances on. Jeff Jones, CX Racing, Hankook Tires, LS Turbocharged S14, or the Road Race Engineering, Burke, Turbo by Garrett. Also on Hankook Tires, the 350Z. Here we go, going to the judges. Requist or Jones? One more time. So they're saying one more time across the board. So wow, they are saying an inactive chase on Jeff Jones' behalf. Now, Ryan, are you getting any verbiage as far as that first half with Requist and that big correction?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously sounds like it had a little bit of a factor, and but I think, you know, at least one of the judges is going based on an inactive chase from Jeff Jones. So that would say that he didn't think that it was a factor, but that Requist basically zeroed out on the first run, and that Jones inactive on the second run. So at least two of the judges are thinking in that particular way.
All right. So as we advance on, we'll keep it cool as our final battle of the top 16, Stoneback versus Merzanis. Stoneback, strong contention for Rookie of the Year. Dennis Merzanis has been banging away in FD for a few years. Podium has escaped him. Can he get a podium here in 02 as Merzanis swings wide. Stoneback off of that rear clipping zone. Not a signature line for Stoneback on the first rear clip as DMZ, Dennis Merzanis, shuts it down. Stoneback finishing out the run as Dennis Merzanis unfortunately crosses the finish line.
Yeah, you can see right there from the get-go. Looks like just a little miscalculation right there from Merzanis, and it cost him as he shuts it down after that. No major mistakes right here by Stoneback. Obviously, it's going to be a 0 for DMZ, unfortunately, and a big advantage for Jeff Stoneback as he tries to make his way one step closer to the first ever FD Pro 2 championship. Tied in points, at least coming into this event with Dan Savage, but with the Savage going out, it's a good opportunity right here for Stoneback to really accelerate and take that lead.
Man, Ryan, it's it's pretty cold here right now, man. It's saying it's 63 degrees. And it's a cold one. If you're just tuning in, we are going to revisit the last battle between Requist and Jones. But right now, it's Stoneback and Merzanis. So here goes DMZ out front. Stoneback with the advantage, I have to assume. Whoa, Merzanis a little shaky there as Stoneback gives himself a bit of a buffer here as Stoneback dives in. Okay, so Stoneback allowing Merzanis, you know, we always talk about passing, passing, it's allowed, but it's not. Basically, if Dennis shot out that far wide, he could have passed, but he just basically allowed him that buffer, got him back into formation, and just chased him down.
Yeah, I mean, you can't accuse Jeff Stoneback of inactive chase right here because he's very aggressive, stays up right on Dennis Merzanis. He does cut the line a little bit right here, but Merzanis was shooting wide and was able to take advantage of it by coming up on the inside. Obviously, with DMZ making that mistake on that first run, this should be an easy win for Jeff Stoneback. And for anybody out there that actually is, here we go on the score, and then we'll.
Yes. All right. So going to the scorecard, Merzanis and Stoneback, Andy, Ryan, and Brian have to assume it's unanimous. Jeff Stone Cold Stoneback advances on to the finals, or excuse me, the grade 8. Excuse me. If you're interested, if you want to drift what you brung, Thursday night at Irwindale. This Thursday, open drift night. Contact us for info. Go to formuladrift.com. Contact Formula Drift. This Thursday night, open drift. Drift what you brung. All right, sending cars on the revisiting of our last battle. Jeff Jones, Carl Requist, who's advancing onto the grade 8. About to find out. Jeff Jones out front. Requist nowhere to be found. Jones killing the course right now. As Requist overshooting that front clip as Jones. Eyes on the prize, the relentless one that is Jeff Jones. So one more driver, Ryan, to join the grade 8. One of these guys to join the other 7.
Yeah, great lead run right there by Jeff Jones. Pretty consistent out front. You can see right here, snappy initiation into that first inside clip, really pulling on Carl Requist right here. As you can see, he does fill that first outer zone, gets pretty close to that second outer zone, and then shoots back around trying to tighten up on this inside clip. Pretty flawless right here for Jeff Jones in the lead position, and being able to pull that gap. Looks like he'll have a steady advantage against Carl Requist. Really need him to kind of step up right here, put down a good lead run, try to take some of that back from Jeff Jones if he wants to have a chance to move on into the grade 8.
All right, so here we go. Second half of this battle. Let's see how Jones chased down. Oh, Requist initiates and then corrects. Requist not having the angle. Now Jones, we talked about that inactive chase on that. Whoa, Jones overshoots. Is that a big enough mistake after that first run? Ryan, it seemed that Jeff Jones had it in the bag, to be honest.
He's not making it easy on himself, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the replay, Jared, here. Again, remember that first run is basically flawless by Jeff Jones. You can see Requist shimmies on initiation, makes that mistake right there, trying to shoot out to that first outer zone, kind of misses the first and second outer zone, but very aggressive in the chase position, a lot of momentum. You can see Jones way overshoots that last inside clip, and it causes him to lose proximity, so he does make a mistake, a pretty sizable one, but will it be enough to give back the advantage that he had in that first run, plus also considering the initiation problem by Requist. Well, here we go. Andy N going for Jeff Jones. Brian Egger going for Jeff Jones, and Jeff Jones will take home the win. He's our next and last driver moving into the grade 8. Jared, is now the entire bracket is filled. We've got some pretty interesting battles here with Matt Kaufman and Hamilton up first, Jeremy Lowe and James Evans second, Cisneros and Wicknick our third battle, and our final battle now filled by Jeff Jones. He's taken on Jeff Stoneback. So pretty stacked field here as we get into the grade 8, and we'll move right along and try to finish this thing up before we freeze to death out here.
I don't know. It's definitely cold, man.
I'm cold. I'm from California, though, so.
Well, I live in Arizona, so it's pretty cold, too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, regardless of the weather, we're seeing some hot action, and you guys across the globe, comfort of your own home. Thank you to the fans sticking around here. Put your hands together. Come on, make some noise for these Pro 2 drivers. Come on. Kill two birds with one stone. Warm up your hands, as it is a cold one. Hopefully you guys holding some cold brews and hanging out. When we come back, we'll see our first battle of the grade 8 here, round 3 of Pro 2 Formula Drift competition here at Texas Motor Speedway.
X80 has the most trusted clutch used by the most abusive drivers. When it comes to sliding sideways, X80 Clutch has you covered. Head over to XityUSA.com for more information.
crank it up.
All right, welcome back. We are here in the Grade 8 Pro 2 competition at round 3 of the Pro 2 championship within the Pro Championship. All right, so we talked about it. Here it is. GoPro FW. Text to win a GoPro camera. Text GoPro FW as in Fort Worth to the number 46776 to enter. One lucky fan will be chosen today. Text now and you could win a GoPro Hero 3 Plus camera. Message and data rates may apply. So text to win a GoPro camera. Get your phones out if you can take them out of your pockets. Get out your phone. Text GoPro FW to the number 46776, and you could potentially win a GoPro Hero 3 Plus. Remember hashtag FDTX for all things Formula Drift Texas. As we are getting set here, waiting for the drivers to get to the line. Ryan, this should be a good one. Kaufman and Hamilton out of the gate. Kaufman and Hamilton. J. Lowe versus Evans. Jeremy Lowe versus James Evans. Real quick, before we get on with the other half of the brackets, enter to win a 2014 Fiesta ST. Go to driftwithford.com to enter, or if you're here in person, go by Von Gittin Jr.'s pit. He actually has a standee that'll give you all the details, including more of what you win. Not only do you win a hot hatchback that is the 2014 Fiesta ST, you're also going to win a trip to Utah, which includes Miller Motorsports Park, the Fiesta ST Octane Academy. You're going to win a tour of the Hoonigan Racing Division headquarters in Park City, Utah, and also drift lessons from the 2010 Formula Drift champion, Von Gittin Jr. So, makings of a pretty cool prize there. Driftwithford.com, or go by Von Gittin Jr.'s paddock area. There's details there on how to text and win these valuable prizes, and quite an experience at that. So, Dustin Millard, you did not win, sorry. Friends and family cannot enter to win. So, on the other side of the bracket, Ryan, Tony Cisneros versus Brandon Wicknick. Wicknick, who, you know, unfortunately got that damage from the back end of Juha. Looked like Juha had his eyes on the prize, but unfortunately just too aggressive. Cisneros and Hill went at it, but Cisneros got that battle. And then Jeff Jones is going against Stoneback. That should be an interesting one. I mean, those two guys, Jeff Jones and Stoneback, both compete in pro competition. Taking a look at some people tagging hashtag FDTX. Tyler McCory letting you know qualified 12th, but the car feels much better than that. Excited for tomorrow. This is Tyler McCory, the Rock. That's Auto Essence. Taking up some rad pro drift cars. Snapping a photo, looks like James Evans' car, I believe it is. Dan Savage. Dan Savage sending his boy a shout out. That's live, that's real time right there as Dan Savage gets knocked out, but Evans moves on. Looks like Miguel Tovar saying Nate Hamilton, my favorite driver. Watching from home. And then 2J Johnny, currently multitasking. Drift car work, so look at that. Working on his car and watching Formula Drift in the comfort of his own home on the Drift Stream. A few of the drivers over here hanging out in the spotter stand. Pro-Am, Pro, aspiring drivers, mechanics, the whole crew. Dan Popowich, Dan Savage, Calvin Wan, former Formula Drift driver. Josh McGuire, Pat Gooden hanging out up here. The whole gang. It's a cold one. All right, so Kaufman and Hamilton, they're about to go at it. So Kaufman, both these guys LSS chassis. Let's see how it goes down here. As Kaufman, our #1 qualifier. All right, sending cars here. All right, so the rain coming back. And here it is as Kaufman way out front strong. Kaufman not getting to that outside clippings on the second one. Nate Hamilton gets the proximity, but as soon as he does, Kaufman pulling away. Hamilton, not as much angle.
There we go, Jared, back on the replay. Let's take a look here as Kaufman looks strong from the get-go. Right when he makes his transition, you can see the rain was coming down right there. It doesn't seem to affect him too much as he reaches out wide to that first outer zone. He does miss that second outer zone pretty substantially. That allows Nate Hamilton to kind of tuck up a little bit right here, but then you can see the grip on Matt Kaufman's vehicle as he pulls away across the finish line. So mistake by Kaufman right there on that second outer zone. But outside of that, a pretty good lead run right there as Nate Hamilton toes up the rear. Decent run of his own. See if he can't put together a pretty flawless lead right here and put a stamp on it and give an opportunity to take home the win.
All right, so Kaufman putting on a strong lead run. All right, let's alternate the order. Hamilton out front, good initiation, the wet conditions. It's getting a little spitty here as Hamilton throws it down. Nice job tightening it up as Kaufman gets on the back bumper, and Kaufman now spins. So Kaufman spins, who was dialing it in. Now a similar situation to that of Parsons and Hamilton. So, I mean, man, is Hamilton slowing down that much? I mean, yeah.
Well, let's take a look. It's got to be definitely frustrating to spin out when you had a pretty good lead run to work with. You can see Hamilton comes in, good initiation right here. Kaufman on the brakes for a second as he just gets choked up right there, pushing hard. Hamilton on the brakes right there. Then Kaufman comes up on the inside. Hamilton shoots out right here, you can see, and then that's where the spin happens. It looks like actually a piece of his bumper goes underneath his left front. I'd like to see that again. That may have been what caused the spin. Not 100% sure, but let's take a look at that again one more time if we can. See if we can get a little bit more clarity there. There definitely wasn't any contact, and you could see from the back that Hamilton wasn't on the brakes. We have those lights up front. You can see right on the top they get tapped right here. That's an indication of when the brakes are being used. You can see Hamilton's on it right there, and then Kaufman dives in really close right here. See that front right there? See it maybe gets underneath the tire?
Yeah.
Is that what possibly caused him to spin?
Yeah, so it seemed that Ryan, you're getting some words with the judges. What's up?
No, they wanted to make sure that we knew that there was no contact, and yeah, to me it was pretty clear there's no contact. I think it's just a matter of ascertaining how that spin took place, and it looks like that was just Kaufman on his own, so see if the judges agree.
All right, going to the judges. Nate Hamilton says Andy Yen. Brian and Ryan say Nate Hamilton. And there it is. Nate Hamilton gets the win. So as you said, Ryan, no contact. Kaufman spins. So unfortunate for him, yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was his own bumper that got in his way. I mean, you rarely see that. So, So Nate Hamilton advances. He's in the final four. One step closer to gaining another podium in Pro 2 competition. We saw it go down in Miami. Advancing on to our next battle. Here we go. Jay Lowe versus James Evans. James Evans out front. Look at Jeremy Lowe. Woo! Killer angle from these guys. Look at Jeremy Lowe. Sick chase job. Too early, and James Evans does. You gotta love it. Come on, round of applause for Jeremy Lowe's chase job there. He just didn't reel it back in. He got that proximity, but just had to shut it down and didn't have that torque. Just lunge back up there.
It was an incredible attack right there by Jeremy Lowe. You can see the roll into transition right here by Evans coming back around to this outer zone. Feels it pretty good. Jeremy Lowe's right with him right there. Then he dives in. He's able to fill it, stay on his line. And this is the problem right here. He's not able to get back on it, and he goes off course right there. We'll have to confirm with the judges whether or not that was 2 tires clearly off, but no doubt it was a big mistake. And unfortunately for him, the attack did not work out the way that he wanted to, but it was very impressive. It was actually right here in front of the judges stand where we are. He just dives in perfectly, no contact made, but then wasn't able to make it all the way through.
All right, so man, Jeremy Lowe, loved how he put it down, but unfortunately for him, just fails to continue that just sick, aggressive chase job. So let's alternate the order. Jeremy Lowe, we'll see how he does. I mean, James Evans, see how his chase job goes down, because we've seen really fluid runs from Jeremy Lowe. Hometown boy from Sarasota, Blake Fuller tuning in. How we doing? Hometown of Braille Batteries and Go Puck. What's up, buddy? All right, here we go. Going in to that first rear clipping zone, does not get all the way out to, gets to the second one. Now, Evans back there quite a bit. Oh, dude, Ryan, James Evans was like,
well, this is going to be very interesting, because if this battle goes one more time, that'll mean that the judges thought that Jeremy Lowe had a 0 on that first run.
Right.
And because obviously that was a 0 right there by James Evans. So if this goes one more time, then we know that Jeremy Lowe had a 0 on that first run, which I would love to see this again. I thought it was a great battle up until the point by both drivers making zeros. But we saw some great driving and some aggressive back and forth. So.
Yeah, man, you know, James Evans, if it goes one more time, James Evans has got to be counting his lucky stars here, because with that chase run on that first run, it's definitely impressive. I'd like to duplicate again. Let's go to the judges. Andy, Brian, Ryan. Andy says one more time, Brian. It's one more time, regardless of what Ryan says, but it is unanimous. It's one more time. So one more time between these two, Jeremy Lowe and James Evans will advance on to our next pair ideally, which will be that of Cisneros and Wicknick. All right, sending cars, here we go with Cisneros and Wicknick. The second half of this grade 8 battle. Hamilton's already in. We're going to revisit Lowe and Evans, and then our final battle will be a good one. Jones versus Stoneback. Here we go. Cisneros and Wicknick. As Wicknick goes in, a bit wonky, now throwing it in. Wicknick. Whoa, doctor, look at this. Cisneros goes rally car off the course. Oh man, clean up on aisle 2 as Wicknick throws some sparks. Calamity all over the course.
Well, that was Nate Hamilton last year jumping off the course in practice. And that area can be pretty dangerous. We have actually paved a section there to extend the course, but if you do push a little bit too hard, you can bump off in that area. Let's take a look at this on the Nitto replay real quick, Jared, as we go back to this. Wicknick coming down the front straight right here, initiating into that first turn. Now just watch this arrows in the background. He shoots out wide. Almost looks like something comes off there, but then he bounces off, sparks everywhere. Definitely sustained some damage to the vehicle, and looks like he's okay though.
Well, we'll take a look. Fortunately, he didn't re-enter the track. He was just about to drive on track, and you just want to make sure that no fluid. Wow. Woo. That's a sweet jump.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately for him, but obviously makes it exciting as Cisneros pushes hard, and Wicknick throws some, he wanted to get involved too, so he threw fireworks of his own. So we'll take a look and see if Cisneros has any fluids leaking, making sure that he doesn't pull any of that on track. So we'll get Cisneros here off track. We'll get Cisneros off track as Wicknick is back to the start line. Remember, we'll have to go back to Lowe and Evans. So Cisneros, sans the bumper. Hopefully get it back together and go against Wicknick, sitting on the deficit. When we come back, we'll continue with more Formula Drift Pro 2 action here at Texas Motor Speedway.
I need 50 on pump 3.
Hey, boss. He's back.
Not again. Get the sign. Eco Boost Engine. Freebie for Mr. Ford from yesterday.
The 2014 Ford Fiesta, with available 1-liter EcoBoost engine, has an EPA estimated rating of 45 highway miles per gallon. Less stops, more squeegee.
Hit that guy.
Let's be honest, the girls are there, they're holding the umbrellas, but can they hold the gear shift? Can they drive the vehicles? Can Taka Ayano teach these girls well enough, or do the girls have enough talent to actually drift themselves? We'll find out.
I woke up every day in the Air Force thinking I've got the best job in the world. Airplanes, jets, propeller planes, rockets, spaceships, starships. If it left the surface of the Earth and went somewhere else on an adventure, it just captured my imagination. The opportunities that the Air Force can offer are boundless. When opportunity knocks at your door, be bold, be courageous in following that dream, step across that threshold and into that new adventure. My name is Colonel Alvin Drew, and I am an American Airman.
I know when I toss my car into a turn at over 100 miles per hour, it's going to hold it. If you don't have confidence in your tires, you have nothing.
As you can see, Cisneros getting towed off there. Hopefully he can get his car back to the line. Remember, we're Jeremy Lowe and James Evans. We will have to go back to them. As Wicknick and Cisneros, we saw that first portion as Cisneros went way off course. Jeff Jones and Stoneback will be our final battle of the Grade 8. All right, so seeing Jeff Jones back there get staged, wonder if Cisneros has retired. I'm sure he'll get it back to the pits and we'll see how that transpires. All right, so our next battle that we are staging should be the revisiting of the one more time between Evans and Lowe. And Lowe threw that, if you can recall, Ryan, that was just such a killer aggressive move by Lowe. Ended up biting him because scrubbed that speed, failed to make it to that outside front clip, and then on the other run where Evans was chasing, he spun out. So Lowe in his rearview mirror was like, yes. Unfortunately for Lowe, he was like, damn it. So,
yes, those words exactly, I'm sure.
Yeah. So Lowe and Evans will go against each other. Seen these guys compete in other sanctioning bodies, so it's good to see them here at Pro 2 go against each other. As Passionate Pat is up here cheering on his local Florida boy, doing it for Dale. Wicknick's crew up here hanging out. Where's that port wine when we need it right now? Let's get down on some port wine from Portugal. If anybody's got a little Grandpa's cough syrup right now, that would definitely be handy. Warms the belly. Stings the nostrils. As we advance on, or digress I should say, to the one more time battle between Lowe and Evans. So Lowe qualifying 13th, Evans qualifying 5th. Evans will be in the lead position at Sickie V8 350Z. All right, ready to send it here. Coming into that first initiation point, there's a front clip. Evans initiates and transitions into that rear clipping zone. Jeremy Lowe nowhere to be found. Jeremy Lowe correction from Lowe as now he pours on angle, but way too late for Lowe as Evans is off to the races. So man, Lowe, as aggressive as he was in that first run, nowhere to be found on the second.
Yeah, all Evans on that first run due to some mistakes by Jeremy Lowe in the chase position. Let's take a look here. As Evans comes into that first inside clip right here, transitions back out, trying to shoot wide right there. He's able to do that. You can see Lowe right there. That's the first mistake he makes. He straightens out right there. That could potentially actually be a 0 as he goes back and forth on the angle before actually getting it back into drift right here on that last inside clip, shooting out to that last outer zone right there. But a big mistake by Jeremy Lowe in the chase position, giving James Evans a pretty sizable advantage here.
So yeah, James Evans, unfortunately for Dr. Lowe from Sarasota, Florida, had that big mistake. Now he's gonna, knowing Jeremy Lowe, he's gonna throw it all out there. Jeremy Lowe fans, cheer for him. I can hear you all the way from Florida. There you go. I mean, literally some people from Florida are here, so I literally can hear you because you're standing right next to me. But also can hear him cheering for J-Lo. So Jeremy Lowe up front, James Evans, chase position from Baltimore, Maryland. Go O's, hun. Get some of that natty bow, hun. How we doing out there at Texas Motor Speedway? You still with me? Yeah, hardcore fans right now, freezing. About to lose some fingers here. Here we go, J-Lo. Whoa, oh. Now Evans swings wide. J-Lo gets another blessing here. J-Lo, now James Evans goes off again. Now James Evans puttering through the course. So, Ryan, was that a big enough mistake to J-Lo straightening. I mean, are these guys feeling bad for each other? Like, oh, bro, I'll take one for you. Maybe we'll go one more time.
Well, going back to that, the inactive chase, I mean, this wasn't that at the beginning. It was due to a mistake. As you can see, Evans just initiates late. It causes him to go wide into the first turn. Then he's way, way behind, and then there's no chase here. So, you know, I guess you could make the argument that it's an inactive chase by accident, but he definitely made some pretty sizable mistakes there. I think it's pretty clear that Jeremy Lowe, at least in my opinion, zeroed out in that first run by straightening out. It'll be up to the judges now to determine whether or not that's what James Evans did, and if he did, we'll see one more time go up, and if not, we may see him get the win here. But definitely a big mistake as both runs are being shown up on Jumbotron now. You can see this right here. This is what I was talking about, where that looks like that is a zero. You know, that's basically losing drift to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure the exact definition of losing drift. I mean, he completely lost drift. So, unfortunately for J-Lo, good, hardworking kid, really phenomenal driver. He's got a lot of Floridians cheering him on.
Right, and then here's Evans, and again, going back to that mistake he made, and it causes him to get so far behind that there is no chase, and it becomes, you know, what we kind of labeled inactive chase. So if you gave it to the Jones run, I have to imagine that it kind of plays here. But I think the only difference is it wasn't necessarily sandbagging intentionally,
right.
You know?
Right, yeah, I mean, but, okay, so fine, he has an inactive chase because he made a mistake. Right. So, like, which, you know, tit for tat, or, you know, here we go. Let's go on to the judges. Andy, Brian, and Ryan says J-Lo or James Evans. Slide it right for James Evans, says Andy Yen. One more time for Brian. They're going one more time. So they're going at it again. Man, this guy's burning some tires. Well, fortunately for, you know, unfortunately, but fortunately for them, we're not going to be seeing them in top 32 competition tomorrow. You know, because, so they will be having some tires. They will be having some tires as for tonight's competition. So J-Lo and Evans, remember the winner will go against Nate Hamilton, who's waiting in the wings. Now, Ryan, an update on Cisneros and Wicknick. Unfortunately, with Cisneros going off course, he's damaged his vehicle, sustained too much damage, so he has to retire. That means Brandon Wicknick from Layton, Utah, advances to the Final Four. So Brandon Wicknick advances to the Final Four. So already in, Hamilton and Wicknick. Now we're advancing on to, this should be a doozy. Jones versus Stoneback. The turbocharged LS of Jeff Jones, both S chassis. Stoneback with a naturally aspirated LS. Jones running through the gears into that front clip. Nice job by Stoneback closing that gap. There it is, the killer's going through the course. Jones out front, CX Racing S14. Ryan, take a look at it again.
Yeah, here we go. You can see Jeff Jones initiates into that first corner on that inside clip right here. Very close on proximity as Jones misses that first outer zone, tries to make it to that second outer zone. Stoneback pretty close right there. Kind of backs off for a second, drops a tire as Jones comes across that first inside, that last inside clip. So a couple mistakes by both drivers, very aggressive as we get these guys back up to the line, and now Jeff Stoneback will have an opportunity to take the lead against Jeff Jones. And you got to imagine Jones has really got to put one down here and try to stay as close as he can to Stoneback. Stoneback is very quick, a lot of grip in that car. Definitely can get away from you if you're not careful.
All right, so let's alternate the order here as Stoneback will be out front. Thank you for the fans tuning in. All right, so Stoneback throwing it down to that outside clipping zone. Nice job getting to the second one as Jeff Jones forgoes that second zone. Now trying to get that proximity as Stoneback, absolutely ripping his Stoneback. But Jeff Jones, like his tenacity. Brian, this is a good battle right here.
Good battle and a good lead run right here. As you can see, Stoneback, he gets off the line really quick. It allows him to pull a gap on Jeff Jones. Not a big one, but I think it might be enough to get the win here. We'll have to see. As you can see right here, Jeff Jones gets lost in that smoke cloud. He does go wide on that last inside clip. Makes a mistake right there as Stoneback comes across the finish line. So that was a pretty excellent run by Jeff Stoneback. Not only was he able to kind of gap Jeff a little bit, but he's also able to kind of stay on all of the different areas of the course that you're looking for, and also forcing Jeff Jones to make a couple mistakes.
Oh man, going to the judges, Andy, Bryan, and Ryan. Stoneback or Jones, they're saying Stoneback gets the win. Stoneback gets the win. And it was a great showing by Jones, but man, a fierce competitor in Stoneback. He's currently leading that charge. We talked about him going into our top 16, and here he is, one step closer to grabbing that podium. Now, Nate Hamilton qualified 8th, Stoneback qualified 6th, and Wicknick qualified 10th. Now remember, 3rd place is decided by qualifying. We don't have a consolation round anymore, so we have our 1st place battle. So we'll have J-Lo and Evans going for their 2nd one more time battle, their repeat battle going against each other. All right, we can see J-Lo there with those signature yellow headlights. All right, we are ready. Let's go for it. James Evans out front. J-Lo chase position. All right. Isiki LS 350Z for the 2nd one more time battle. Both these guys have just made these silly mistakes in the chase position. Get it together, guys. Don't leave it in the judge's hands. No. Evans. Whoa, crazy angle as Lowe gets out of shape. Has to check up, so another mistake in the chase position. I mean, Lowe surged that attack, had to correct it. Fortunately, he saved his car. Oh no, look at this. Now Lowe seemed like he was almost falling out of gear there.
Oh, you could kind of see that one coming if you watch Lowe in the chase position as he comes out of interclip 1 into the transition. You can see Evans rolls into the first inside clip. Now watch Lowe in the chase position. He comes up really tight right here. Then he's unable to transition to get back into the right part, knowing that he would have been way too close, maybe making contact. He shuts it down right there. Now we know for sure that Jeremy Lowe has a 0, so James Evans just needs to get out of this run unscathed, and this 2 one more time battle will result in a win for him. But you know, crazier things have happened. Both guys zeroing out on every single run to get to the 1 more time where we were every single time. So Evans, you just got to make it through, bud.
Yeah, but J-Lo's hoping that James Evans makes another mistake in that chase position. I mean, we want to advance on to the final 4 as we are getting set here. We already have Hamilton, Wicknick, and Stoneback already in the final 4. Now Hamilton will be going against the winner of this. Who's it going to be? As Jeremy Lowe out front, Evans initiates. Not the cleanest initiation from Evans. Going to outside clipping zone as Evans. And of course Lowe. A wide swing from Lowe as he tightens it up. Oh, I mean, it seems like Evans, you know,
didn't see a 0 there. I think that's the important thing.
I think that's really going to ring true for sure. All right, so taking a look at it again, and as you said, it's pretty much not a 0. I think that's what the judges are really looking at, and it didn't seem to be a complete inactive chase. He could have been closer. Yeah, it wasn't a clean chase run by Evans, but it wasn't completely terrible. So as waiting for the judges' verdict, Andy, Bryan, and Ryan for Lowe and Evans. James Evans unanimously gets the win. So Evans advances on. Unfortunately for Jeremy Lowe. 3rd time's the charm for Evans as we had 2 one more time battles, and here we are. James Evans advances on to the final 4. All right, so the final 4 set. Hamilton versus Evans. Wicknick versus Stoneback. The winners of those 2 battles meet in the finals. 3rd place goes to the highest qualifying driver of the loser. When we come back, we're going to find out who gets the win here. Pro 2, round 3 of the Formula Drift Championship.
What does Made in the USA mean anymore? To Voodoo 13 USA, it means a promise to be hands-on from start to finish. Made in the USA is a commitment to a superior product in a world of inferior promises and quality standards. Mil-spec standards is a quality often imitated but never duplicated in the automotive suspension world. Until now. It all starts by utilizing the best materials possible. Engineering and designing with mechanics and technicians working together to create the best product for you. Manufacturing with standards that have never been seen before in the industry. Once the process and parts are completed, it's go time. The next generation of drift, road race, and street vehicles is upon us. Let us do the heavy lifting for you. Voodoo 13 makes the commitment to create the best product that the industry has ever seen. Voodoo 13 USA is made in the USA.
X80 has the most trusted clutch used by the most abusive drivers. When it comes to sliding sideways, X80 Clutch has you covered. Head over to exityusa.com for more information.
I need 50 on pump 3.
Hey, boss. He's back.
Not again. Get the sign. Eco Boost Engine. Freebie for Mr. Ford Fiesta.
The 2014 Ford Fiesta, with available 1-liter EcoBoost engine, has an EPA estimated rating of 45 highway miles per gallon. Less stops, more squeegee.
Hate that guy.
All right, well, there you go. You can see the green lights of James Evans going against Little Tech's Nate Hamilton. Can Hamilton get another Pro 2 podium? Well, Stoneback, he's in the mix. So Stoneback qualifying 6th. Evans pretty much guaranteed a podium at this point because he is the highest qualifying driver at this point. So Evans guaranteed a podium here in Pro 2. Slow trickle from the start as Evans initiates into that first rear clipping zone. Nice job by Evans. Hamilton trying to get in that proximity back. Oh, and Hamilton makes a mistake there. Just gets a bit out of shape, checks it up. So a mistake by Hamilton, wrapping around that final clip, Ryan.
Yeah, it was a pretty good run up until that point. Both guys in tandem right here, especially on that the lead off to that second, or that first and second outer zone. Look, you see right here as Evans, he comes through, trying to shoot out wide. He misses that first zone, tries to get back to that second one. Hamilton dives in right here. This is where we had that contact from a couple runs before. And then he makes that mistake. He shimmies, loses it again, makes 2 big bobbles right there for Hamilton at the end. So James Evans, meanwhile, not the greatest run out front. He had Nate Hamilton making some pretty big mistakes behind him. And that's definitely going to cost him right here in the advantage category. We'll have to see how Nate deals with himself now taking the position of lead driver and what Evans can do in the chase.
So we saw James Evans, 2 rounds of competition so far. We've seen him take out, or Dan Savage actually take him out. He's taken out Kaufman and Eric Hill before, as he has not seen a podium. We've seen him in top 4. But he's getting his first ever Pro 2 podium now. Here we go. So Hamilton needs to put it down in order to advance on into the finals. as Evans hanging it out there. A late transition trying to accommodate Nate Hamilton, but look at this, Evans way off course. Wow, Evans going to left field. Evans going, oh, wow, that got crazy, man.
Oh boy.
Just getting a little delirious.
Well, here we go with Nate Hamilton in the lead position, transitioning here to that first outer zone. Does a pretty good job right there, and you can see the mistake right there in Evans' position as he runs a little bit wide. Then he goes wide right here. He shuts it down. Now, I think the big part of this comes through in Nate Hamilton's smoke cloud as he goes out of angle right here, and then he drives off course. I think we need to see that there to verify if that was a 0, but it looks like the judges are confirming whether or not that was on their end. Definitely a big mistake by James Evans right there in the chase position.
All right. So going to the judges, you saw Hamilton make that correction. Evans swings wide. Now, as I said, Evans, the highest qualifying driver out of the Final Four. He's guaranteed at minimum 3rd place. He'd obviously like to better that, get atop the podium. Here we go, going to the judges, Andy, Brian, and Ryan. Hamilton and Evans going to the judges. Andy Yen says, one more time. Brian Eggert says, Nate Hamilton, and Ryan says, one more time. So they're going at it again. So, man, James Evans getting just more time on track. So the lead runs stand out in the judges' mind as we'll go to the other side of the Final Four bracket, excuse me. As Wicknick and Stoneback on the other side of the bracket. Remember, we will have our podium ceremony tonight, so stick around, give away some trophies. And here we go, Stoneback out front, Wicknick in the chase position. Stoneback just absolutely blasting the course right now. Stoneback pulling away from Wicknick, the LS-powered S14 with that just killer amount of grip. Stone cold, putting it down as Wicknick trying to play catch-up here in that 2JZ-powered S13. Ryan, let's take a look at this run again.
Yeah, Stoneback out front, a pretty good lead run right here. He's not able to hit that first outer zone. This is the second one, but he's able to pull a pretty big gap right here on Wicknick. You can see Wicknick right here misses that last inside clip, so kind of sloppy right there in the chase position. Jeff Stoneback able to pull a pretty good gap, but like to see him get a little bit closer to those outer zones there, especially on 1 and 2. And now he will chase down Brandon Wicknick.
All right, so alternate the order. Wicknick will be out front. Sending cars here as Wicknick, driftmotion.com. S13 initiates. Slow initiation by Stoneback. Let's see how Stoneback does here now. Is this an inactive chase or is this strategy? Once again, as Wicknick with a wide swing, Stoneback spins! Stoneback comes to a halt. Haven't seen this at all from him. As Wicknick rounds out the course, he was wide off of that front clip, but obviously not as big a mistake as Stoneback had.
Yeah, that was the first, I think, big mistake that we've seen Stoneback make, and it starts from the beginning. He doesn't get off just right. You can see Wicknick does not hit that first outer zone. He gets into that second one, but right here, Stoneback comes in a little bit too hard right here. He spins out and then goes off course, so that's definitely going to be a 0, and that should be a win from Brandon Wicknick as Stoneback makes a huge mistake right there in the Final Four of all places.
Oh, man. So, mistakes by drivers. Let's go to the judges, Andy, Brian, and Ryan. So Stoneback, look at this. Wicknick gets the win as Stoneback with a huge mistake. Unbelievable turn of events as Stoneback takes himself out. So Wicknick gets a bit of good luck on his side. Man, he got it with Cisneros. You know, last man standing. Last man standing there as Wicknick takes the win and advances to the finals. So, Hamilton qualifying 8th, Stoneback qualifying 6th. If Evans advances on, Hamilton will grab 3rd place. Or excuse me, Stoneback will grab 3rd place. Again, Hamilton qualifying 8th, Stoneback grabbing 6th. So, it's a must-win for Hamilton if he wants to podium. Evans is guaranteed 3rd place at minimum. He's going against Wicknick. Again, the winner will go against Wicknick in the finals. So, Hamilton and Evans. Here we go. Evans out front. Wicknick in the chase position. Evans initiated into that front clip. Good initiation by Evans, trying to get the outside clip. Here comes Hamilton. Evans tightening it up. Evans, a bit of a straight line approach to that last clip as Hamilton kept the angle. Definitely like to see him closer in proximity. Pretty straightforward run for both these gentlemen.
Here we go, getting deep into the night now as Evans comes down the front straight, initiates. You can see Hamilton right there, trying to get as wide as he can. Hamilton makes a little mistake right here, falling back just a little bit to Evans. Coming up on this inside clip. Nice job right there. Evans gets back on it, so does Hamilton, then falls back just a little bit right here as they cross the finish line.
So alternate the order. Hamilton will now be out front. All right. So here we go. Hamilton out front. Evans giving chase through that start chicane. That was put into effect in Seattle. Now Hamilton pulling away from Evans. Hamilton got to run his own run here. Nice, feeling that rear clipping zone. Hamilton, as Evans touches the dirt. Evans overshoots once again. We've seen that from Evans a few times. Hamilton putting on a textbook run here. Nice job by Hamilton. Don't know where that has been this whole weekend, but a good lead run by Hamilton. That was the proper initiation on filling that first rear clipping zone. So nice job by Hamilton, but Evans does it again. He overshoots this last final front clip.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities missed by Evans. He's had quite a few zeros tonight, but he's also done some great driving, so I'd really like to see him get that consistency here as Nate Hamilton moves close to that second outer zone. You can see right here, this is that mistake you were talking about, Jared, where he just shoots wide. Evans does in that chase position, losing ground to Nate Hamilton. And then Hamilton crossing the finish line with Evans right there in tow, but just a few mistakes right there, so we'll have to see how the judges take a look at that as hopefully we can find ourselves a victor here and move on into the finals.
All right, so going to the judges, Andy, Brian, and Ryan. Now remember, we have to see, oh, Nate Hamilton gets the win. Hamilton gets the win and advances on to the finals. So Hamilton and Wicknick in the finals, as Evans, our highest qualifying driver, in 5th, just trumping Stoneback in 6th. Evans grabs 3rd place here in Pro 2 in Texas. So, our finals are set. So we are nearing the 10 o'clock hour local time. Made it on the Tron, says, can't read that. I mean, even though that screen is massive. Ellen Smith, Harley HD in the building. Made it on Big Hoss, that's HOSS, powered by Tagboard. Remember, hashtag FDTX. Looks like Gorilla Panic Racing. Hung out with Ryan Turk this weekend. How we doing? Thanks for coming out here. Hey, Adam Greenery, how we doing? Give me a shout out. There's a Big Hurt of Hoonigan, always a blast. So glad to meet new people and spread the good word of Careless. Careless Original brand, supporting a lot of drifters. Dean Carnage Carney qualified fourth to the second round. It's also his birthday. Happy birthday to him. He's killing it. Winner barbecue dinner, gum out. Oh man, Vaughn Ginn Jr., I am mega jealous of you guys grubbing some barbecue right now. Catching up Formula Pro 2 live stream, Taylor Urquhart. So we're getting word that Wicknick calling a competition timeout. So Wicknick calls a competition timeout. When we return, the finals are set. Hamilton versus Wicknick. Who's gonna get the win here at Pro 2, round 3, the Pro 2 Formula Drift Championship at Texas Motor Speedway.
Crank it up.
I am the trusty co-pilot. The moving part that moves all 2,000 parts. I am the translator who interprets the road, the permission to take the scenic route, and the guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama.
Nothing on night vision. Switching to thermal.
Don't worry, we're gonna get you home.
Air Force Rescue 11 inbound.
Learn more at airforce.com.
I know when I toss my car into a turn at over 100 miles per hour, it's going to hold it. If you don't have confidence in your tires, you have nothing.
What's up? I'm Ryan Turk. Welcome to the House of Turk. I'm going to take you for a ride.
Let's break something.
We will break something. Run the wall. Bash the limiter. Try and make sure it still drives at the end.
All right, Ryan, well, here we are. The stage is set. A little bit of luck, a little bit of, a lot of skill, obviously, but a lot of luck, man. These guys have caught some lucky breaks, but one gentleman is going to be higher than the other. Our finals are set, Ryan. Nate Little Tex Hamilton versus Layton, Utah's own Brandon Wicknick. Grabbing his first ever Formula Podium as Nate Hamilton should be leading here in this situation. Hamilton qualifying 8th as opposed to Brandon Wicknick's qualifying 10th. So Hamilton in the lead position. In Juku Racing, 360 wraps on Falcon tires. LS powered S13.4. The Ham fam is in the building. Wicknick and his driftmotion.com. Run2JZ powered S13.
Oh boy, it is cold out here.
It is a frigid one out here. Running the Iditarod, just with some horsepower. No dogs, sans the dogs, just horsepower. As can't wait to give out some trophies and catch a car with some heater, to be quite honest.
This is the one night you don't want to get sprayed with champagne.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm trying to quit. Ryan, this rivals New Jersey
06?
Ages ago. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Dude, that was freezing. A lot of us didn't expect this, so a lot of us are up here in shorts hanging out. So, dude, it is unbelievable. So here we go. The stage is set, the finals. Oh. So Nate Hamilton is now calling a competition timeout. His transmission is having some issues. Will not go into gear right now. So unfortunately for Hamilton, well, fortunately he had the competition timeout. He did not use it yet, but unfortunately for us, still got to wait here as Hamilton having problems with his transmission. His spotter up here, Josh McGuire, a local Texas drifter, drives himself. So as we talked about, you could win a Ford Fiesta ST, but speaking of Ford and some hot hatchbacks, here's a look at man's best friend, Von Gittin Jr. ripping around his compound with his man's best friend. Take a look.
Hey, baby.
Are you almost home?
Actually, just pulling in the driveway right now. See you in a minute.
be honest, the girls are there, they're holding the umbrellas, but can they hold the gear shift? Can they drive the vehicles? Can Taka Ayano teach these girls well enough, or do the girls have enough talent to actually drift themselves? We'll find out.
When I was little, I wanted to grow up and help people.
When I was young, I wanted to save lives.
I wanted to make a difference in the world.
When I was growing up, I wanted to serve my country.
My name is Captain Shawnse Tarrant, Air Force physician.
I'm Airman First Class Ashley Denton, Air Force firefighter.
I am Lieutenant Colonel Gail Crawford, Air Force JAG.
I'm Captain Cynthia Nagaris, and I'm an American Airman.
I know when I toss my car into a turn at over 100 miles per hour, it's going to hold it. If you don't have confidence in your tires, you have nothing.
X-Eddy has the most trusted clutch used by the most abusive drivers. When it comes to sliding sideways, X-Eddy Clutch has you covered. Head over to exedyusa.com for more information.
All right, well, unfortunately, or fortunately, you see on the start line, you want to see a battle, especially in the finals. Wicknick had issues. Now Nate Hamilton has issues. Nate Hamilton unable to run. He has a transmission issue. So that means Brandon Wicknick grabs first place here at Pro 2 at Texas Motor Speedway. We'll bring the three drivers down here on track. Layton, Utah's own Brandon Wicknick grabs his first ever podium and win in Formula Drift competition, this being Pro 2. Nate Hamilton grabs second, and James Evans grabs third. We'll bring them here on track, grab some photos, and then head over to the podium ceremony where we can award some trophies. Thank you again for joining us out here as Brandon Wicknick, driftmotion.com, S13, Run2JZ himself, grabs the win. So we'll see if we can get Nate Hamilton and his vehicle out here. I mean, he's having transmission issues. I don't even know if we'll get him to the spot here, but here he is, and he's on track. Seeing James Evans over there, not seeing that of Nate Hamilton, unfortunately. So there he is, James Evans. And I don't know if we're going to see Nate Hamilton pull his car on the track for the photo opportunity. But make some noise for him as he steps outside of his vehicle. The winner here at Texas Pro 2, Brandon Wicknick in the driftmotion.com to JZS13. Second place, he's out there now. Nate Hamilton, Little Tex, grabs his second Pro 2 podium. And rounding out third in this Sicky 350Z from Maryland, James Evans. There's your 1, 2, and 3. Wicknick, Hamilton, and Evans. Your final podium here at Pro 2, the third round of the Formula Drift Pro 2 Championship within the 7-stop championship. Congratulations to the driftmotion.com. Join us on the podium. We're going to give out some trophies. Seems that Nate Hamilton having some issues, but grabs his second ever Formula Drift podium, getting closer and closer as Jeff Stoneback grabs that 4th place spot, still in contention for the Formula Drift Championship. So congratulations to our podium finishers. We'll see you over there at the podium. And tomorrow online, we're going live at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time here at Texas Motor Speedway. Thank you for joining us. This is Jared Deanna signing off on behalf of Ryan Sage here at Texas Motor Speedway. Tomorrow, continuation here at Texas Motor Speedway. This is Jared Deanna and Ryan Sage signing off. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time here on the Drift Stream.